Welcome to the Making of Me podcast, where we explore personal growth, relationship, and the deeper challenge of life today. Today's guest is Jason Lang, a main embodiment coach, group facilitator, and evolutionary guide. Jason has helped men gain clarity in life, relationship, and purpose through men's work, uh, coaching, and group experience, with decades of trainings in men's work and guidance from leaders like John Wayland and Dr. Robert Glover. He empower men to shed outdated paradigms and live healthier, more authentic life. It's really a pleasure and honor to have you on the show. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So just what were some of the challenges that shape you into who you have become today?
Yeah, sure. A lot of my challenges, I think, like a lot of people, started at home when I was growing up, and I think dovetails into a lot of the issues modern men face in that I was lucky in terms of where I grew up in the Midwest of the United States, kind of lower middle class. Basically had all my security needs met growing up in terms of stable housing, food,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But what I didn't have is my family did not have any interiority. So there was no emotional connection or physical connection in the family. We all just kind of lived in the same house. And so as I grew up, and particularly as I became a teenager and kind of entered into the world, and in my case, heterosexual, got interested in women, I didn't know how to connect or relate to members of the opposite sex or honestly even other men at that time. And I was kind of locked up in my own head, a little depressed and often really anxious in my body. And it was so painful, it kind of kicked off a journey of growth and transformation for me, of learning how to actually get out of my head and into my body and learn how to feel and express myself in terms of what I want, what I need, and to be able to take the initiatives that I wanted in life. And that journey took me many different ways, but the thing kind of more than anything else that really shifted how I was showing up was once I got into men's work in men's groups and really started focusing on the process of getting embodied and not just thinking about things, but actually feeling and doing things in my body, in my nervous system. And that was such a long, hard journey for me as I started to figure it out. I started talking about it, and then lo and behold, it kind of became my pathway, my career for helping other men do the same thing.
Wow, amazing. That was really a whole lot. So, what exactly is men's group, and why do you believe every man should be part of it?
Yeah, so men's group really is just a small collection of men that gather together, but not just to do things, right? I think that's the default way most men connect. We get together to play sports or watch sports or fix things, and there's a time and place for that. The challenge is it often doesn't take us deeper than the surface of what's going on actually inside of us, right? So I had a client who just told the story about went on a ski trip in the mountains with all of his friends he grew up with, but none of them actually talked about life. He's in the midst of probably getting divorced. He knows other people. They just didn't know how to go there. So even though it was fun to hang out, he kind of left it feeling lonely, feeling like, oh my God, these guys don't really know what kind of challenges I'm going through. So a men's group is really just a container where men can get together and get very real about what's happening in their lives. And that tends to show up in two different ways. Sometimes the edge is we actually need support. We need help, right? Men tend to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders and all the burden of them trying to do this and help this person and take care of this person. And oftentimes inside, we as men are kind of dying. Like, who's taking care of me, right? And men's group is a place where we get to just feel the grief and the pain of that and ask for help sometimes. I'm struggling in my relationship. I just got laid off from my job or whatever that might be, and just get supported by people who care about us in the process. Now, the other thing it can do on the flip side is it can hold us accountable for the things we care about the most that we're trying to move forward in our lives. Healthier behaviors, better relationships, shifts in our career or goals. A group is a really important way to help us men get really clear about what is the life I want to be living and creating, and then help keep us on track to make sure we're getting there. So we can stay more in integrity, so we can stay more moving towards the person we want to be.
Wow, I think this is really lovely being that I think it's easier for men to unburden their emotional stuff here compared to me that, yeah, out there, men are not expected to cry, men are not expected to complain, men are not expected to actually more like voice some nuance. And I think having more like a secluded group where you could actually make reference of your fears and admiration, and yeah, being able to hear each other out and profile what has worked for each other. I think it's really a lovely idea. So, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
So how? Yeah, amazing.
that's an important shift. I'll just say that, right, part of the challenge of men is kind of the idea of what it means to be a man for
Yeah,
so many of us around the globe is it means to be invulnerable, to be tough, to never show weakness, to not have
yeah,
feelings. And obviously there's some positive attributes to that, but when we disconnect, when we dissociate, when we don't feel our emotions, they make us sick, mentally sick, emotionally sick, and yes, even physically sick, where men suffer. And it shows up in the stats, right? Suicide rates are through the roof for men in particular. 3 out of 4 suicides tend to be men. And I think that's a direct repercussion of we don't make it okay for men to have feelings and move them through their body. And when we're feeling bad and we have no way how to deal with that, that's where a lot of men just check out. Like, I can't do this anymore. So
yeah, so
changing the
true.
culture to, yeah, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to ask for help. The beautiful thing about it is it leads to more effective men. You get to do more of what you actually want to do in life because
Yeah,
you're not weighed down by all the stress and tension of all the emotional content you're carrying.
yeah, amazing, amazing. So how would you define the healthy masculine in today's world?
Yeah, I really often name it in kind of the ability to embody 3 different attributes, which are one, just having a grounded, well regulated, and present nervous system,
Hmm.
meaning I can be here in my body right now and I can be relaxed. It's pretty simple. Wound up or full attention or totally disconnected from my body. But I'm grounded. I'm grounded in the moment. I'm grounded in my body.
Yeah.
Then the second piece is our connection to our heart, our emotions, our feeling, which is not only am I grounded in my body, but I'm open. My heart is open to both feel and connect with other people and be felt and let other people in. So it's this real capacity of attunement and sensitivity. But again, a lot of guys are like, I don't want to be sensitive. Sensitivity can be such a powerful thing. Talk to anyone who's trained in any martial arts a long time. The most lethal martial artists are the most sensitive. They're very attuned to other people's bodies, their bodies, and they're open to feeling the energy and the connection of the moment. So we have being grounded in our bodies, open in our hearts, and then the one where it tends to trip up us the men the most is just having a clear and focused awareness, meaning we are able to choose where we want to put our attention in the moment.
Hmm.
And that is a superpower in this day and age where everything is often vying for our attention. Social media, advertising, people in our lives. There's always this pull for pay attention to me, pay attention to me. Or the biggest demon for most men is not having control over their mind being stuck on their own thoughts.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
rumination is so dangerous, so creates so much trouble for men. And what rumination really is I don't have the ability to stay focused on what I want. Instead, my focus keeps going to my fears, my thoughts, my worries. So that capacity to really control our awareness. I want to focus on you right now. So I'm putting my attention on you, putting my attention on this goal, this thing, my kid, whatever in the moment. That's a superpower for us men. And when we can do all 3 simultaneously, be grounded in our body, open in our heart, and focused in our awareness on what matters most to us, we are a very different kind of man.
Hmm.
We are the kind of man that when people step into his presence, they want to be around it. It feels good, it feels relaxed, it feels trustable. And we need a lot more of said men in this day and
Yeah,
age. And it's totally possible for guys, but a lot of us just were never trained in how to actually do these things.
yeah, amazing. Grounded. We're grounded, connected to our hearts, having a clear and focused awareness. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
So how did your own experience with loneliness and struggles in your 20s shape the approach to men's work?
Yeah, well, it's right there, just like you said it. My pain was feeling disconnected, not
Mm.
knowing how to connect to myself, not knowing how to connect to other people. And men's work and men's groups are kind of what broke open the doors of that and helped me get through that and learn what it actually means to feel connected in the world. And I think so much of the pain that men in particular feel often in life is they feel disconnected. They feel disconnected from themselves, they feel disconnected from other people. They also often feel disconnected from the planet or a higher purpose of some kind. That, hey, I don't actually belong anywhere. And that creates a deep depression when we're not connected. And they have these famous studies from a while ago, right, about some rats where they'd put, I think it was rats. They put a rat in a cage, right, and the little bottles they drink out of, they put in cages, instead of water in there, they put, I think it was morphine, very heavy drug. And when solo, the rat would just keep drinking, and it would actually drink itself to death on the drug. And what they found, though, was just put another rat in the cage so it's not alone. They wouldn't drink themselves to death. They would just
Oh,
avoid it and be done.
wow.
And what that's pointing to is we like to think we're a lot more evolved than rats, right? But we're mammals. We're social creatures. We were born to be in connection and in community and co-regulation, dropping in with another person, making eye contact, breathing together, really soothing each other. That is one of the fastest ways we actually take care of ourselves. And connection is such a potent medicine that helps us heal and feel stronger and be more energized and belong, that without it, men suffer. And men's work and men's groups in particular, I think, are one of the fastest pathways back to feeling that kind of connection, that kind of
Yeah.
brotherhood, that kind of
Yeah.
belonging. And so I got so intimate with what it feels like to not have that. Turns out one of my things I'm most passionate about is helping to create that for other men and saying, hey, I know what it's like to be alone and suffering. Check out this other way. I'm pretty sure you're going to find it a little easier and better because I know it changed it for me. So bringing
Yeah.
connection to men is something I'm super passionate about.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So, in your own view, what is the biggest misconception about masculinity that men carry around?
Yeah, you know, there's many, but I think we named it already, which is that to be a man, you have to be
Yeah.
invulnerable, right? You got to always be tough, never show weakness, never ask for help, and definitely don't cry. The truth is, when men actually get into spaces, this was my experience as I got exposed to older, more mature men in men's groups, and see the power of what it means for a man to be connected to his heart, his feelings, and be able to express himself, whether that's grief, fear, shame, regret, guilt, you name it, or even anger, but not collapse into those emotions, right? So not be totally overtaken by them, but also not posture and pretend like I don't have them, but just be able to hold the experience. Here's what I'm feeling. Tears coming down my eyes, or I'm shaking from fear, or whatever that might be. Every man I've ever witnessed in one of these moments, when they actually see another man hold that powerfully, they come out the other side and they say, actually, I had it wrong. That is the brave, strong, powerful man. The guy who mocks all that, is afraid of that, tries to shut all that down, that guy's just afraid. He's afraid to cry. He's afraid to be afraid. He's
Yeah.
afraid to feel shame. So he has to construct this whole macho identity that's actually quite fragile around that. And so real power for us men comes from being able to feel and be with our entire experience, whatever it might be. And then lo and behold, the better we get at that, guess what we're not afraid of? Being with the challenging emotional experiences of people around us, whether
Yeah.
that's our romantic partner, our children, our family members. And that is a real gift, to be able to be present with people in their suffering or in their pain or even in their joy. And so this idea that you got to do it alone, it's just time we cut that as men. Because if nothing else, if all you care about as a guy is getting what you want and being efficient, I guarantee you're going to get farther faster with men at your back than you will solo. Because they're going to point out your bullshit and they're going to support you to make sure you stay on target.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So what does the feminine truly crave for in masculinity, and how can men better understand this?
Yeah, so another word we've said already, but probably more than anything else, it's deep presence.
Mm.
It's just the ability to, I am here and I am with you.
Mm.
That's it. It's so simple. And to be that present, guess what you got to be? Grounded in your body, open in your heart, focused in your awareness, not
Yeah.
thinking about all the shit you need to do for work, or so tired or stressed in your body you can barely pay attention, or so closed off because you're just scared of feeling. But when you can bring just deep presence, I'm here in the moment and I'm with you, you will literally see the feminine relax and open up and feel safe and trusted. If you're bouncing all over the place in your head, trying to say it right, or distracted about work, or trying to get something specific from her, she'll have her guard up, right? And it's a pretty rare thing for many women to be with an emotionally regulated, grounded and present man who, hey, it's okay if you're sad. It's okay if you're mad at me. What's going on? Tell me more. Man, when a woman's around that, in my experience, it's life-changing for them. And we have to do work as men to become present in that way.
Yeah.
Because again, no one teaches us. Everything is always pulling us to be somewhere else, right? There's a better moment you could be in. If you were only more this or that, there's just this constant hammering we get hit with, whether it's distractions or dopamine or whatever it might be. So practicing presence, that's the main thing I teach men. I don't teach pickup or hacks or how to get women. Just learn to be really present with women and they will respond to you. The feminine will respond to you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. This has really been amazing, Justin. So for my audience who would love to kind of reach out to you, either for the group or for coaching sections or how to connect with you, maybe some of your content out there, how can they reach out to you and where's the best platform?
Yeah, totally. Best way to keep up with me and everything I'm up to is at evolutionary.men. So it's not .com, but .men. And on there, you'll find links to all my social media, my own podcast. I got some free quizzes and fun things coming out soon too. So there'll be lots of ways to engage. And if you don't know where to get started, there's some resources on there for that. You can always just send me an email, contact me. You don't even have to work with me. I can just point you to, here's how you get started. Here's how you find a men's group. Here's how you can get rocking.
Yeah, thank you so much, Justin. You bring authenticity, experience, and your practical guidance out to the conversation about men's group, relationship, and purpose. It has really, really been amazing. Yeah, well grounded and regulated system. Yeah, our connection with our hearts and having a clear and focused awareness. It has really been amazing. And for my audience who would love to kind of listen to him for more content, or follow him up and everything, the link is going to be on the show notes for you to easily connect. Once again, a pleasure and an honor have you on the show, Jason.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.